So, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I am a claims adjuster for a major insurance company. I'm a field adjuster specifically, and part of my job is to go into homes, inspect the damage, and determine if there's coverage. Now, for some, this can be kind of intimidating because, especially if you're a woman, the idea of safety comes up. So, let's talk about it.
You in the past, I'm in the future. You mad that they don't salute you.
Thank you for clicking on this video. If you're new here, my name is Keela Trishan and I make videos on lifestyle, insurance, and mental health. I also do vlogs, day in the life in the insurance industry, day in the life with a toddler, all the things. If that's something that interests you, go on ahead and click the subscribe button below. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything from me. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back and thank you for your support. Okay, so being a woman in the insurance industry as a field adjuster, it can be intimidating for some women. I mean, it's just kind of a known fact that women need to be more vigilant. Women need to, have measures in place to protect themselves, especially if you're going out alone, especially if you're going, if you're doing a job such as I am, where you're going to inspect people's homes. You're going into strangers' houses. You don't know them. They don't know you. So you want to make sure that you are protecting yourself. I have 5 tips for you if you are a lady in the insurance industry or thinking about going into the insurance industry as a field adjuster. So if you're interested, definitely go on ahead and stay tuned. Okay, so my first tip is to communicate your location. Now, whenever I get a new claim, it typically notifies my manager, but I'm the one who's calling to set the inspection. I always put the inspection on my calendar with the address, the date, and the time. Also, my husband knows where I'm at. So, I always say, hey, I'm going to this city, I'm going to that city, I'm going to be out there around this time. And he and I both have locations on each other on our phones. So, at least 2 to 3 people know where I'm at all times if I'm going, to an inspection. Now, obviously, we hope for the best, but the good thing about this is that if it's ever needed, if anyone ever needs to, figure out, okay, what happened, whatever, like retrace steps, somebody knows where you're at. So make sure that you're communicating this, whether you're doing it verbally or you're putting it on some type of like shared calendar situation where people know where to find you if anything ever happens. Okay, so my second tip is going to be to assess the environment. So this really starts from the moment that you get the claim. Now, for me, when I first get the claim, I'm immediately looking at the address. There are some addresses and, towns that I know very well that I grew up around or that I'm just simply, familiar with. There's some places that I'm not familiar with. I'm looking to see how far they are. I'm pulling up the Google view to see what the street looks like, all of that. Don't get caught up in the good neighborhood, bad neighborhood, because any neighborhood can be anything at any time. So you want to make sure that wherever you go, whether you're in a neighborhood that's known to have stuff popping off or whether you're in a neighborhood that's known to be quiet, make sure that you are assessing when you get there. Look around and see if there's any suspicious people. Look around and see if there's any suspicious objects, suspicious activity, whatever that is. Sometimes even the homeowner can be suspicious, okay? I haven't really had many situations like that, thank God, but I've had situations where the customer was kind of iffy. So, listen to your instincts. If you don't feel right going into a home or going on a street, you can always reschedule or you can bring someone with you. I do that a lot, especially at my level, because I'm inspecting such like complex claims. Typically, when I'm going to an inspection, I'm not going alone unless it's something smaller. I'm going with a contractor, I'm going with a mitigation vendor, I'm going with a contents vendor. So usually it's like, 3 or 4 of us out there already. So I typically don't have those situations where I feel unsafe necessarily, like something's going to happen to me specifically, but I'm still assessing my, surroundings or whatever, and just kind of, taking mental notes of things that are going on. So just be smart. Again, look at the area. There's times where there are certain places in Los Angeles where I'm not going after noon. I'm gonna go inspect those places in the morning. There are some places where I'm a little more comfortable going later in the day. Also, be careful about inspecting at night. Right now, since it's summertime, it doesn't get dark until way later. So, you're not going to be inspecting that late anyway. But when the sun starts to set like way earlier, I would say for men too, but for women for sure, don't be inspecting at night. If that person can't meet at a decent time, then you schedule it for a day that they can meet at a decent time. So just, follow your instincts, follow your gut, but make sure that you're checking everything before you approach this property. The third tip is going to be to dress appropriately. Now, most times as a field adjuster, you're going to have on a uniform shirt or some sort, like that has your company logo. You might have on a jacket, a baseball cap, something like that. But even if you don't, you just want to make sure that you're wearing something comfortable for any environment. I'm typically coming up with my work shirt. I have on some comfortable pants. I've been known to wear leggings. I'm not saying that I should be wearing leggings, but listen, I don't know what I'm walking into, and I'm gonna be comfortable above all else. And then I'm wearing some tennis shoes that are in good repair. So if I need to run from something, I can run. I don't have on, so ladies that are married or that, like to wear a lot of jewelry, this is not the time or place for it. This is also like that, assessing your surroundings and stuff. You don't want to be coming out super flashy. I wear, very understated earrings. I don't have on this chain. I'm not wearing this chain. I don't have on no necklace, and I'm wearing a very basic wedding band. I'm wearing this. So I don't wear my engagement ring or anything. Like, I'm not wearing anything that would draw attention to me, like nothing. So you want to make sure that that's kind of like your rule of thumb. I think, like, as far as, colors and stuff like that, like, you want to wear colors where people can see you if you're going to be out later. I wouldn't wear dark colors if you're going to be out like later in the day, but like, if it's earlier in the day or whatever and you be visible, then, wear what you want. But just be mindful of the things that you have on. Also, there's like just the professional part of it. Like, you don't want to be showing too much or anything like that, because sometimes customers can be real finicky. Or if you're going to somebody's house, you're visiting a, husband and wife. You don't want the wife looking at you funny because she thinks that you're trying to entice her husband or whatever, you don't want to do nothing like that. So just come dressed appropriately, dress comfy and non-flashy. My fourth tip is to carry basic safety equipment. Now, my mom has been giving my sister and I pepper spray for I don't know how long. Ever since we were old enough to just be by ourselves, like, we've gotten pepper spray like yearly. So that's something that I typically will have with me. I also like my keys. Not like I'm carrying anything crazy on my keys, but those could be a weapon. You just want to make sure that you have things on you. Even some of the tools, I'm not going to even say it on camera, but if you're an adjuster, you know what I mean. Even some of the tools that you carry for your job can be used as basic weapons. Make sure that your phone is charged. Now, I typically have my work phone and then I have my personal phone with me. Both of them are charged to perfection. So there's never going to be a time where, like, if I need to call out, I'm going to be able to call out on one of them phones. So make sure that you have your communication devices, set up. Make sure that you have emergency numbers set up. And then this is also important for, locations and stuff like that. If you have somebody that's tracking your location, make sure that they're able to with your phone being on. So yeah, I'm not saying to go inside somebody's house with, a firearm or anything like that, because obviously that could become a whole other issue, but you just want to have like just something basic to protect yourself. Okay, so my fifth and final tip is to stay alert. At the end of the day, a lot of things can be prevented, or you can at least see what's coming if you stay vigilant. Like, pay attention to your surroundings. Some of us have habits of, having phone conversations. And let's be honest, even if you're looking around while you're on your phone, it can be hard to multitask while you're having like a deep conversation with somebody, walking into, someone's home. One, it's just not safe because, what if you're crossing the street or something? You want to make sure that you're watching out for traffic. And then two, you want to be able to see, like, if there's something going on that you need to be aware of. You need to have like all of your senses going at once. Don't have your headphones in. Now, I have AirPods, which I'm sure a lot of people do, and they do have a feature on there where you can kind of like amplify the outside noise. You can do that, but I still would recommend against that. Like, I feel like if you are coming to a home from a home, you should not have anything that could be a potential distraction. Put all that stuff away. I do have out my work phone when I'm walking up to a customer's house because I have to take a photo of the outside of the residence, but that's really the only reason. Or I'll have it out, like, if I need to call somebody, if I'm knocking and they're not answering, then I need to, have their phone number so I can call them, let them know I'm here. Something of that sort. But other than that, I'm not on that phone. I'm looking around. Even if I'm waiting for somebody to come out, a lot of times I turn my back to the door and I'm looking out, on the street or whatever, especially if I'm in a place that is like kind of secluded or whatever. I'm turning around looking to see, what's going on, just, scanning. but then I also have myself angled, so when the door opens, you know, I can see what's happening. So just make sure that you have your head on a swivel. Some of us grew up where we had to have our head on a swivel. So, you know, if you want them people, then you already know what I'm talking about. But if that's not a type of environment that you've grown up in, you need to make sure that you are constantly looking around. Just like when you're in your car and they tell you, you know, to constantly check your mirrors and all that stuff, check your surroundings to make sure that you're aware of oncoming traffic and this, that, and the third. It's the same thing when you're out. Make sure that you are, you know, just constantly looking around every few minutes, every few seconds, really, just to make sure, you know, everything is cool. Yeah, that's really all I'm saying on that. Just keep a lookout. All right, you guys, so that's all I have for you today. These are pretty much like basic regular tips, okay? A lot of us that grew up in LA, this is second nature to us, and I'm sure other areas too. I'm just speaking to LA because this is where I grew up, so I don't want to single anybody out because I know there are interesting places all over the world. But as a woman, you know, you just have to take extra precaution. Like, we are physically not as strong, you know, so we have to be very diligent about, you know, just kind of how we protect ourselves, you know, double checking our surroundings and just knowing what we're up against before we go out, you know. So I don't want to scare anybody because it shouldn't be scary. It's just basic survival skills, you know, at the end of the day. If you are a female adjuster and, you know, you have tips that you use that I didn't mention here, definitely go on ahead and leave it in the comment section. I think this is an important conversation to have because I have gotten several questions just about, like, you know, the safety and going into people's homes. That seems to be kind of like a sore point for people. I've had the thought, you know, in the past, but like it doesn't really bother me these days. I guess just because I've been doing it for so long, like I don't know, maybe I'm just immune, but really, again, like I said, it's just basic survival and just knowing how to handle yourself in a situation when you're alone. If you like this video, if it helped, definitely go on ahead and click that like button. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't subscribed and you made it this far, go on ahead and click that subscribe button below. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything. And with that being said, you guys have an amazing day. I'll see you next time.
Future, you mad?